The Fox and Franz Josef Glaciers and the climate inconvenience. New Zealand's famous glaciers are melting every day, every hour, every minute. And only we can help preserve one of the world's most famous natural resources. And here's how. But first of all, what is a glacier? Glaciers are accumulation of ice that have been compressed into sheets or cliffs due to the slope of its own gravity and climate. They are most commonly found near large ice mass areas at a water edge. But that's what makes the glaciers in our backyard so special. The Fox Glacier, measuring 13 kilometers long and 100 meters deep, and the Franz Josef Glacier, measuring 10 kilometers long and 300 meters deep, are both land glaciers, making them more famous as they are more accessible. Some of the most accessible glaciers in the world. The Fox and Franz Josef Glaciers sit in the depths of the Southern Alps, just beside Mount Cook, 450 kilometers away from Jordan, and they are melting. The blue shading shows the extent of the Fox Glacier in 1978. Now, in comparison to 2016, the Fox Glacier has lost over 1/3 of its ice mass. Then just 23 kilometers over, the Franz Josef Glacier. Here is the ice mass in 1978. Now, in comparison to 2016, it has lost over 2/3 of its ice mass. But why? And the answer is simple. You may not like this answer very much, but it's very much in fact true. Whether it's driving you can walk or leaving a light on in the room, globally we all contribute to one issue, the rising of temperature, and this has happened at a more rapid rate than ever before. And let me explain how, but in simple terms. As you all know, we live on Earth. Around Earth is something called the ozone layer, which protects us from radiation and various different things in the atmosphere. On Earth, we produce millions of tons of greenhouse gases, carbon emissions, and various other things. We also have the sun, which emits radiation and heat to keep us alive. And we also reflect what we don't need in order to keep those safe. But as we grow on Earth, we emit more carbon, fossil fuels, everything, to making the ozone layer more thicker, meaning less heat gets out, making it trapped, meaning the temperature rises. And you may be wondering, how does this affect us in New Zealand? Well, this graph here is the nominal temperature in New Zealand over the past 119 years. The blue is the cold, the peach is the normal, and the red is the hot. Now, I want you to think of the glaciers like an ice cube. Ice cube's conditions is a freezer. This is the equivalent to that. Take an ice cube out, it melts. This is the equivalent to that. Take an ice cube out and place it in front of a fire. This is the equivalent to that. And that is the glaciers right now, and why we are set to rise by 1 degree each 100 years. That's our rate, and that's a very alarming rate. Let me explain to you why. And the answer is simple. Coastal erosion, which is linked to the sea levels rising, because these glaciers contain 12 gigatons of water, which is equivalent to 1,200 elephants. You may be thinking that's not a lot, but this is the mouth of the Fox River located on the west coast of New Zealand, which both the Fox and Franz Josef Glacier melt into. And did you know that New Zealand's sea level is rising by 1.8 millimeters per year? Just 1 meter is needed to sink all of these famous cities with our highest population rates. And the thing about New Zealand is 1 meter could destroy us because, see, as you see here, Australia has a large width. We are the short width, which means we have the ability to sink as a whole country. So we need to save our glaciers in order to save our country, because we have just 30 years left of the glaciers at the rate they're melting. So how can we help solve this issue? Well, there are many ways we could help contribute to solve this issue, because I could try to go vegan to help save the glaciers, but are you really going to go vegan? Well, the answer is no, because all teenagers have different lifestyles, and not all of us are going to go vegan. Like, I don't think I could go vegan. So, I invented this website, 101 ways to save the glaciers. Now, I challenge you to pick one thing from each of these sections. There's a morning section, a daytime section, and a nighttime section, with the list of things that you can do in that time of day that I believe can help contribute to change. Like, here are mine. Switching from my aerosol to my roll-on could lessen my air pollution emission, and shopping locally instead of shopping from a big business could reduce the need for transportation, and taking a shorter shower instead of a 20-minute one could reduce my water usage. These are all small changes I can make my day-to-day routine. So I challenge you to pick something from this website. I challenge you to make a change in your routine. I challenge you to be the change that these glaciers and New Zealand needs.